This video has words starting with AU. The next word is audit in American and audit in British. So audit is an official inspection of an organization's accounts, typically by an independent body. Audits can't be expected to detect every fraud. So it is in North American. Attend a class informally without working for credit. He made use of the knowledge gleaned, GLEANED, from economics classes he audited. So which means he attended without any credit. So or it is conduct an official financial inspection of a company or its accounts. Unlimited companies must also have their accounts audited. If a student intends to sit in on a course without registering, this is indeed called auditing. These were matriculated graduate students, however. The next word is a short audition in American English and audition in British English. Audition in American English and audition in British English, which is in archaically it means the power of hearing or listening, but later auditionists assess the suitability of someone for a role by means of an audition. She was auditioning people for her new series, or it is interview for a role or job. Interview for a role or job as a singer, actor, dancer or musician, consisting of a practical demonstration of the candidate's suitability and skill. The Royal Ballet gave Nicola an audition. So it is performing an audition. I was auditioned and was lucky enough to get the part. The next word is audience. Audience has two meanings. The one meaning which we all know, the people who watches or listen to a television or radio program, or readership of a newspaper, magazine or a book. Newspaper has sophisticated audience, that is the one meaning that we all know. But there is a formal way that also means audience. A formal interview with a person in authority. He demanded an audience with the Pope. Here it means a formal interview, which is an archaic form. It is not used now, which is an archaic form of formal hearing or a meeting or conference or a consultation. That is also called audience. One meaning is the assembled spectators or listeners at a public event such as a play, film, concert or meeting. The next meeting is a formal interview with a person in authority. The next word auditor also has two meanings. One is a person who conducts an audit. The company is required to appoint auditors at each general meeting. An auditor in British. The second meaning is a listener. So low was Deems' voice that his auditors had to give it close attention. So this audit and auditor has two meanings. One is a person like attending a class without a credit. The second is you're auditing the accounts of a company. The next word is auditorium in American and auditorium in British. If I have to say this, I will say auditorium. D, I use E sound, but it is actually auditorium, DEH, auditorium in American and auditorium in British. Auditoria is the plural form of auditorium, where in North American it is a large building or hall used for public gatherings, typically speeches or stage performances. National Indoor Arena is a magnificent auditorium, or it is a part of a theater, concert hall, or other public building in which the audience sits. The stage was small and the auditorium had only 366 seats. So basically it is a theater or hall, a chamber, a room, assembly hall, etc. is called auditorium. You can see auditorium in schools and colleges where you just gather for a meeting or something. The next word is if I had to say, I will say this is auditory, but it is DEH, auditory. auditory in American, and auditory in British.
Auditory. 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 Auditory.
Here, auditory means relating to the senses of hearing, the auditory nerves. Auditory learning is learned through listening and tend to function best in classrooms that are taught through lectures or classroom discussions. Written information has little meaning for them until it is heard. Reading aloud or books on tape are useful tools to help retain information. See, in your brain there are two cortex. One, this pink color is visual cortex and the blue color is auditory cortex. And the auditory learners enjoy talking and listening. They remember what they hear most clearly than what they see or feel. These listeners interpret the essential meaning of speech by listening to tone of voice, pitch, and speech. The learning styles. Okay, auditory processing is the ability to detect and process useful information in sound. The next word is auger in American and ogre. R is silent and starts with O. Ogre in British. Auger and ogre. Auger in American, ogre in British. And this is that instrument, auger. It is a large tool similar to an auger used for boring holes in the ground. Also, it is a marine mollusk of warm seas with a slender tapering spiral shell. You have always seen this, but I have never known this is the auger. So this is that thing that is like drilling holes. It is also a tool resembling a large corkscrew for boring holes in wood. These kind of drillers can also be called as augers. Cats, regarded as symbols of bad luck, do not augur well for the future. To augur is to divine or predict from omens. So to augur, when you say to augur, is to divine or predict. Is to predict yourselves from the omens. So this is also an auger drilling machine. This is one kind of drilling augers. There is another word in AWOL, all or all in British, all in American, all in British. That also means auger, drilling, drill. So these are the types of auger bits. So this is also a kind of augering or awling. The next word is art in American and oath in British. Art is anything at all. Anything at all. Know you art of this fellow, young sir. Know you art of this fellow, young sir, which means know you art of this fellow, which means know you anything at all. So this is just art also means zero, nil, zilch. There is something called OUGHT, oath, versus AUGHT. Oath is a verb, ought, that is also called as art. OUGHT is a verb used to express correctness, duty, obligation, what the most expedient course of action should be. OUGHT is the correct verb form for all tenses. The next word is augment in American and augment in British. So augment, I don't know how it is relating to increasing, because augment means increase, make larger, make bigger, multiply, add to, make greater. Of an affix or derived word, reinforcing the idea of the original word, especially by meaning a large one of its kind, as with the Italian suffix one in born, ravine, ravine, compared with borodich, ditch. I don't understand anything from this. In linguistics, a vowel prefix to past tense of verbs in Greek and certain other Indo-European language. Augment is make something greater by adding to it. Increase. Her secretarial work helped to augment her husband's income. Here, augment, make it into augments means multiply it and make it bigger. There is something called musical augment. Augment, it's a fun word to say, derived from the late Latin augmenter or Old French augmenter. To augment something is to increase in size. You may, for instance, wish to augment your paycheck. We all do. Well, this lesson may not directly help with your paycheck. If you are going to music, then don't expect one anymore, but it can help with some musical augmentation, which quite simply refers to the increasing of some value. So as you watch the rest of the next word is augur in American and ogre are silent and starts with the ogre in British, which basically means fortune teller, or it's a visionary, prophet, oracle, diviner, or it is like portend or bod, a specified outcome. They feared that these happenings augured a neo-Nazi revival. Here, BOD or portend means be a warning of, forewarn of, or it's like an indication, be an indication of, be a omen of, be a bad thing, signal. Foresee or predict of an event or circumstance. It's a warning, a good or bad outcome. The end of the Cold War seemed to augur well. Means a well warning that is well. In ancient Rome, a religious official who observed natural signs, especially the behavior of birds, interpreting these as an indication of divine approval or disapproval of a proposed action, is called augur, and this thing is called augury. This person from the Roman world, his main role was to practice of augury, interpreting the will of the gods by studying the flights of birds, whether they were flying in groups or alone, what noises they made as they flew, directions of flight, and what kind of birds they were. This was known as taking the auspices. Sorry, it is taking the auspices. Taking the auspices. So in the matters of war or religion function, they look after this. It augurs no good. It augurs well. It means it predicted no good, or it predicted no well. The heavy rain augurs a bountiful harvest. It means it's a sign, or you can say trends that augur change in society. A smooth dress rehearsal augurs well for the play, to be a sign or prediction. When I say they heard the sound as an augury of death, it means a sign of what will happen in the future, an omen, O-M-E-N, or the interpretation of the omens. The next word is August in American and August in British, which is respect. All know that August and July has 31 days because they both are friends, I think, in the Greek god. And August also means respected and impressive. She was in August company, which means respected and impressive. The next word is ark in ark bird in American and oak bird in British. All the oaks or arks are notable for their ability to fly underwater as well as in the air. The next word is ain't and auntie in American. Auntie, she's my aunt, she's my auntie. Whereas in British it is aunt and auntie. Okay, which is nothing informally, it is nothing but an unrelated adult female friend, especially of a child. Anyone you see in this world, you can call her as auntie or auntie. And basically it is the sister of one's father or mother, or the wife of one's uncle. She was brought up by her aunt and uncle. The next word is aura. Aura in both the accents, which means in spiritualism and some forms of alternative medicine, a supposed emanation surrounding the body of a living creature and regarded as an essential part of the individual. It is an invisible emanation, especially an odor. There was a faint aura of disinfectant, or it is an atmosphere or air, character, a mood or spirit, or it could be distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person, thing or place. The ceremony retains an aura of mystery, The emotional, mental and spiritual levels form an energy field around the body known as the aura. In medicine, it is the warning sensation experienced before an attack of migraine. So this is the aura, colors and themes. This is aura color chart. Red is energy, strength. Orange is self-control, ambition. Yellow is optimistic or happy. Green is peaceful, healing. Blue is spiritual, etc. And there are different meanings also. The purple in the forehead is the absolute layer. Then in the middle of the eyes will be the intuition layer. In your neck, blue will be the spiritual layer. Between the chest is astral layer. Between the tummy is emotional layer, sacral layer and physical layer. Emanate given off by something. So aura could be instead of emanation, you can think of radiation. The next word is aureole. It is actually spelling aureole. If I had to say, I will be saying this as aureole, but it is aureole in American and aureole in British. Aureole is a circle of light or brightness surrounding something, especially as depicted in arts around the head or body of a person represented as holy. Her hair framed her face in a golden aureole. Okay, it is another term for aureola. It is also a glow, halo visible around the head of a saint. Only the blessed have these. The next word is auriferous. 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 It means of rocks or minerals containing gold. Not all the quartz veins are auriferous. Auriferous. The next word is aurochs. It means aurochs. Aurochs in American or aurochs. Aurochs. R-O-C-K-S kind of sound. Aurochs in British. Aurochs in American and aurochs in British. It means a large wild Eurasian ox that was the ancestor of the domestic cattle. It was probably exterminated in Britain in the Bronze Age, and the last one was killed in Poland in 1627. It's basically a wild ox. It's not extinct now, which is very huge in size. It is now extinct. Okay, the next word is auspice. Auspice in American and auspice in British. There's another word called under the auspices. Auspices of. Okay, basically the word auspices means protection. Okay, I don't know how it is related to protection, but it is protection or care or guidance, or support, supervision, etc. Auspices means endorsement. If students, volunteers are helping out with disaster relief under the auspices of the Red Cross, they may be registered with the Red Cross or be using their supplies and equipment. So that is the meaning of under the auspices. So Barack Trump said, wouldn't let that happen under the auspices. So here auspices like under the endorsement or under me. So also in archaically, auspice means a divine or prophetic token, protection kind of thing. So There are sentences called, under the auspices of the guidance counselor, I was able to get a scholar for college. It means under the support or sponsorship or backing of. When I say, thanks to the auspices of her band teacher, Gillian has won a national musical competition. Under the sponsorship or under the baggage, he was supporting him with money and other supplies. So when I say under the auspices of the tour guide, we were able to visit all of the city's major sites in 3 hours. Here under the back end support of. So basically, yes, the course is run under the auspices of the Anglican Church. It means with the help or support or protection of. So the spelling of this auspice is AUSPICE. Okay. The next spelling is AUSPICIOUS. This is spelled, if I have to say, I will be saying as auspicious, but it is auspicious in American and auspicious in British. And the auspicious thing, it's auspicious in American. So auspicious is timely or very well or advantageous. It is not ageous, it is advantageous. Promising or good or optimistic, etc. Giving or being a sign of future success. They said it was an auspicious moon. It was rising. So conducive to success or favorable. It was not the most auspicious moment to hold an election. It is not a favorable moment. And also in archaically, it is characterized by success, prosperous. He was respectful to his auspicious customers. Or you can say that wedding will happen. They won't keep wedding in any day. They will keep on an auspicious day. And when I say it was not an auspicious moment to make their dream a reality, or when I say for Hindus it is important that a child be born at an auspicious time, or this is an auspicious moment for our company, says its co-founder. Everything means suggesting a positive and successful future, a favorable, a beneficial. Even some people believe that when a bird poops on your head, it is auspicious. It can mean that something shows or suggests that future success is likely or more likely coming. This is a very auspicious time for the couple. Everything is going their way. Auspicious can also mean that good fortune has come at that moment or in the past. Auspiciously means favorably. The next word is austere in American English, or austere, R silent, austere in British English. So basically it is austere. It means of living conditions or a way of life, having no comforts or luxuries. Conditions in the prison could hardly be more austere, or it is a feature of an austere way of life. His uncle's austerity had undermined his health. So basically it is nothing. Austerity kills, okay, which is difficult economic conditions created by government measures to reduce public expenditure. The country has subjected to acute economic austerity, or it is having a plain and unadorned appearance. The cathedral is impressive in its austere simplicity. It is a plain, simple, basic, functional thing. When I say the room was decorated with a restraint bordering on austerity, it here means plainness and simplicity in appearance. And when I say he was an austere man with a rigid outlook, it means a very strict or severe in manner or attitude. One is plain, the second meaning is strict or self-denying or self-moderate or simple. Yeah, that is the next meaning. When I say he was noted for his austerity and his authoritarianism, it means sternness or severity of manner or attitude. So the next word is astral in both the accents. Astral. What is Australia in the southern hemisphere of the world? Because astral technically means relating to the southern hemisphere, the astral spring, or it is the short form for Australia, Australasia. Maybe Australasia is the southern hemisphere of Asia or something, I don't know. But the next word is autarky. Autarky is autarky in American and autarky in British. This has two kind of spelling, autarchy and autarky. Both means the same thing. Both means the another term for autocracy. Okay, it is a variant spelling. Both are the variant spellings, and both means autocracy, where autocracy is nothing but a system of government by one person with absolute power. A state or society governed by one person with absolute power. The Grand Dutch was an autocracy. Okay, domineering rule or control. A boss who shifts between autocracy and consultation. So autocracy is also called autarky. So when I say rural community autarky is a utopian dream, it means economic independence or self-sufficiency. Is an rural community autarky here means they become the ruling thing. Okay, basically it is a country, state or society which is economically independent. This is the positive term of an autocracy. Okay, so autarky means a country, state or society which is economically independent or an economic independence of self-sufficiency. Ky more means a positive way of autocracy. So the next word is authentic. Authentic, D-I-C, authentic in American or authentic. Authentic in British. So authentic is based on facts are accurate or reliable, an authentic depiction of the situation. So it is basically the originality, the rightfulness, or it is made or done in the traditional or original way or in a way that faithfully resembles an original. The restaurant serves authentic Italian meals. In music, offer church mode containing notes between the principal note and the note an octave higher. Okay, of undisputed origin and not a copy, genuine thing. The letter is now accepted as an authentic document. Okay, so it is the quality of being authentic. The paper should have established the authenticity of the documents before publishing them. So which means it is reliable or trustworthy. So in existentialist philosophy, relating to or denoting an emotionally appropriate, significant, purposive and responsible mode of human life. When you are real in your music, people know it and they feel your authenticity. So authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we really are. How to awaken your authenticity. Remember what you liked doing when you were a child and identify what is something that you would love to do if money was not involved. And think about things that you love doing and can do right now that don't involve traveling, going somewhere else or preparing for it. Or imagine for a moment that you don't have obligations and things don't need to make sense. What comes to your mind? Or think like a child from the heart and start doing what your heart tells you with the resources that you have available right now. Or stimulate this for 30 minutes every day and be ready to meet the authentic you. So I am right now in my authentic mode, because authenticity is not enough to make life meaningful. A pedophile can claim that he is being true to his nature, but it does not make him less of a criminal. To live authentically, one's life needs to pursue something that is objectively good and meaningful. Okay, I don't know what is a pedophile, pedophile. I don't know what is it. So being authentic is being who we are and expressing it. It can mean just about anything. So don't be surprised if you're surprised by what it means to you. Authenticity is not something we have or don't have. It is a practice, a conscious choice of how we want to live. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. So be authentic, be genuine, be real, and be yourself. So when I say authentically, her dances are as authentically Brazilian as their creators. It means genuinely. Or authentically is in the tradition or original way, or in a way that faithfully resembles an original. Finding someone to cook curry authentically can be a real challenge. So am I living authentically in a way that embodies my personal values? Here authentically means an existentialist philosophy in accordance with an emotionally appropriate, significant, purposive, and responsible mode of human life. And authenticity is the quality of being authentic. The paper should have established the authenticity of the documents before publishing them. It is so easy to trade who we really are to fit in or please others. Don't trade your authenticity for approval. So the next word is authenticate. Authenticate in American and authenticate in British. Basically it means verify or prove to be genuine or certify, proof. Okay, prove or show something to be true or genuine or valid. They were invited to authenticate artifacts from the Italian Renaissance. So it is to confirm. So in computing of a user or process, have one's identity verified. It only accepts commands from users who have authenticated as clients. Even the Google sometimes asks your date of birth, what you have already given suddenly. Okay, so it is to authenticate your originality. So there is also for this authentication purpose, even when you have to pay something, you will get a one-time password, OTP. So that is also a process of authentication. So authentication is the username and password for login, and authorization it is to identify each user, monitor connections to the firewall, restrict policies by username. So authentication needs the sign-in password and username, two-factor authentication. Sometimes it is a certificate you will get along with the bag or any goods. Authentication certificate to show that it is real from that brand. Next word is author in American and author are silent in British. Or it is nothing but, you all know, writer of a book, article, or document. He is the author of several books on the subject. Or it is someone who writes books as a profession. Or B, the originator of the concept has been authored largely by insurance companies. Originators are also called authors. Be the author of a book or piece of writing is the usual meaning. She has authored several articles on wildlife. An originator of a plan or idea, the authors of the peace plan. So authorship means the originator or the writers of a book. So the next word is authoritarian in American and authoritarian in British. Basically it means autocrat or dictator. Show a lack of concern for the wishes or opinions of others. He had an authoritarian and at times bad-mannered, favoring or enforcing strict obedience to authority at the expense of personal freedom. The transition from authoritarian to a democratic regime. He is an authoritarian person, an authoritarian parent, an authoritarianism. He follows the authoritarianism. So they don't give the personal freedom for any kid. They will be just enforcing the obedience very strictly.